thought I'd do some planting today. I've got some seeds to sow, so I'm just preparing the ground, getting rid of any stones and any weeds that we've got. Big one here, there we go, more stones, 2 more weeds, there, that looks better. Soil has to be in the right condition to be able to plant my seeds. Just going to read what it says on the packet. I think I need to make sure that I've got a 2 centimetre hole and it needs to be watered before I put the seeds in. So here we go. Let's make that hole. Grab the water. And 2 seeds. Pop them into the hole and cover it back up again. There we go. And repeat. Another hole. I used to love watching my granddad in his garden. He had a big garden. It used to be full of flowers and vegetables. 2 seeds. And as a little girl I used to love picking the fresh peas off the plants and eating them. I used to love watching my granddad in the garden. I'm really pleased with my garden this year. It's the first time we've had the raised bed and I'm really pleased with the beans and the sprouts and the cauliflowers that we're growing. So I thought I'd have a go at trying something different. I have to ask people though how to do it because I haven't been gardening very long. My father is the one I go to ask how to garden, and he learned everything off my granddad. Planting seeds reminds me of a story in the Bible that Jesus told. Jesus told stories that were called parables, and he told a story about the parable of the sower. Let me read it to you. Jesus' stories were always about familiar things like flowers, which everyone had seen. Everyone had seen shepherds working in the hills too, and they all knew about farmers like the one in today's story. Early one morning, a farmer set out to sow his seed. He carried it in a big bag, and as he walked, he scattered handfuls of seed over the ground. Some fell on the hard earth of the path, and birds flew down at once and pecked it up. Some seed fell onto the stony ground, where there was only a thin layer of soil. Green shoots sprang up very quickly, but they could not take root in the shallow earth. So as soon as the sun grew hot, the young plants dried up and died. Some of the seed fell among thorn bushes, which choked the shoots so that they could not grow. Some seed, however, fell into good soil, where it grew and ripened until it stood thick and tall, ready for the harvest. The farmer was pleased, for the good ground gave back 30, 60, even 100 times more corn than he had sown. It was a wonderful harvest. After Jesus had told the story, he explained the secret meaning to his friends. The seed is our message about God's love. The hard earth path is like the hearts of some people who never accept what we tell them. The message soon disappears from their minds. Other people do understand and are thrilled by the message, but they don't want to do anything too hard. When trouble comes, they give up easily and blame God. They are like the stony soil which only had a thin layer of good earth. Other people listen to our message, but all sorts of worries about money and the problems of everyday life spring up in their minds, like the thorns in the story, and choke the good news about God. But there are people who are so glad to hear about God's love that they start to lead lives that please him, and they tell the good news to others too. They are like the good soil that gives back more grain than the farmer sowed. Isn't that a wonderful story? The farmer probably had a bag like this, and he probably held it on his shoulder. And when he was walking, he would have scattered or cast the seeds. Let me do that again. Cast the seeds in a very broad arc. That method of sowing is called broadcasting. Have you heard that word before? We call the people on the television who tell us the news broadcasters, and it's the same thing. They are telling all of the news and they are broadcasting it far and wide to lots of people. We have the opportunity to broadcast the love of God and the stories of Jesus far and wide to lots of people. But some people don't want to hear our message. Some people don't want to hear of Jesus' love, but it shouldn't stop us broadcasting. There's a verse in the Bible that says this: always be ready to answer everyone who asks you to explain about the hope you have, but answer in a gentle way and with respect. Are you ready to be a broadcaster of God's love? Are you ready to sow the seeds so that other people can enjoy being in God's garden? I hope so. Next time you visit, perhaps my seeds will have sprouted and we can see how they're getting on. Take care.